Yo, so there was this video that Face IQ made that really changed my perspective on making money and always being on the grind, right? Always being locked in. The title of the video was something around along the lines of why wealth isn't everything or why getting rich made me feel nothing or something like that. And of course, the more money you got, the more money you have that you're making monthly, it's going to be great, right? You're going to be able to travel, pay for pay for better quality food, go out with friends more. Money obviously gives you like an insane amount of leverage, right? So I'm not telling you not to grind and not to make money, right? But like completely changed my perspective because I always hear these people saying like, "Oh, money isn't everything. God, like God is number one." I agree, but obviously money helps. And I used to not think it was true. I used to always have this mindset of like, you got to make money, you got to make money. And I preach this on this channel all the time, like making money solves all your problems. And I've really switched up after that video. And I want to give you this advice that I recently learned. I probably sound like a hypocrite, but it's so important. The thing is like making money's good. You got to grind to make money, but don't go crazy. Because let's say you're making like 20K a month, 30K a month, and of course it could be a lot higher, but let's say you're making that. You've kind of maxed out. Because unless you're one of these people who, really wants a Lambo or something like that, and that makes you really happy. For me personally, that changes nothing about me. It's just a completely material object. I really have no interest in flexing that, and I don't think that would even attract the girls that I would even want anyway. So I have no interest in that. If you're one of these guys who just like wants a nice house and you just want to have enough money to provide for your kids and your family and your last name, right, and your future, then don't go crazy because what's going to be a lot more important than that is the memories and the events and the experiences that you have from the ages of like 18 to 30 when you're in your youth and when you're healthy, right? Because there's a very limited time window where you're good looking, where you have health, where you could run, where you could have fun, where your friends are all in college, right? Or maybe when you're working, right? And he put it into the perspective of like, he's making what millions, he's like a millionaire already at like 21 face IQ. But like he said that his experience is very similar to a guy who's making 80K a year at a cubicle, right? And I'm not saying for you to try to achieve that, right? Like obviously financial freedom at home is the best, right? Like work from home. But like if you work a job, right? Like a normal 9 to 5 job, it's really not that bad. Like people are going crazy saying like it's bad, but the thing is you get to socialize with people if it's a good job. You get to do tasks in most jobs. Some are really hard, but some are pretty chill, right? You get to be around your coworkers and have a social life. You're probably like gonna end up like start dating someone that works at your job or being friends with one of their friends or whatever. You're gonna go home and eventually you'll probably find a wife and kids, right? And it gets a bit harder because like if you're making this like 80K a year, you're probably not gonna get the best quality wife because hypergamy or whatever for whatever reasons, right? But like he put me into this perspective of like it's really not everything. Like money really isn't everything. And what is everything, right? Like, what do I actually want? And it made me think, like, what do I actually enjoy? Because I imagined, like, yo, if I had like $5 million in my bank right now, what would even change? And when I really thought about it, I just thought, okay, I would probably change my geographical location, right? I would get a nicer house. I would improve my social status and I would decrease my stress levels. But if I had 5 million in the bank, that wouldn't decrease my stress levels that much compared to 1 million in the bank, right? So I don't need that much money. And then also, like, it would just change my where I live, and like people would probably think a bit more of me, right? They would think I'm like a success or whatever, and that would open up better partners to me, right? But those partners I know would be more attracted to me because of the money that I have, right? And wouldn't be for me. Then it made me think the the only thing that's ever really made me happy where I was like an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 happiness on the daily was being with loved ones. And it sounds so cliche, but it was just like an insane realization to me where it's like I'm really ungrateful, right? Like I used to like grind so much in school and high school, and I didn't make the best memories in college. And I used to think like, oh, like I should have partied more, or I don't know. I just always thought like I need to make money, I need to grind, or I need to lock in, I need to go to the gym, I need to like do my own shit, I need to lean down. I used to always think of like these things, like these accomplishment achievements, but like it doesn't mean anything. It's not tangible. The one thing that's made me happy was having a girlfriend who loved me for me, like who I was, right? And it could be a bunch of different factors. It could be because I'm white, could be because I'm, you know, average or above average in looks. It could be because of certain characteristics that she likes, personality traits, which might be predetermined. But she didn't want me for my money. She didn't want me for anything. Even when I was quiet, she just wanted to be in my presence. And that was the happiest I've ever been. And the other time that the happiest I've ever been is when I was with my close friends, maybe eating at a restaurant and we were all laughing, or when I was just with my mom and we got food together, or we go to the supermarket, or I made her laugh. And out of all of them, the thing that's honestly made me happiest is being in a long term relationship with a girl who I liked, right? And it just made me think like, even if I were to achieve all these things, even if I were to get leaner, and even if I were to improve this quality of life, she would just, the next girl that I get would just love me more for these traits that I've built myself, but they're not real. Like it's just a material thing that I'm achieving to try to get this love. But the only love that was ever real was the love that I received when I didn't have anything. And like, what is fun, right? Like everybody's like, I need to make memories. Oh, I want to have so much fun. But like, face like you said, when you like going traveling, it gets boring after a while. Watching your favorite movies and TV shows, it gets boring after a while. You know, I've watched a bunch of movies and TV shows already, and like I don't really watch movies and TV shows anymore. And I'm imagining what would I even do if I was rich? Okay, I'd go like kayaking or I'd play sports more, but I don't really like sports or kayaking that much. Um, I'd probably eat. I'd probably go to better restaurants. That'd be pretty cool, right? But what else would I spend my money on? Probably just like my health and my family and making sure they're okay. And then I realized it just all goes back to family and your kids and raising them well and being happy. And it made me think like even if I were to be like this huge success on YouTube, like I wanted to be, like super famous or whatever, I've always had that goal. But then it just made me think why? Like what I might actually just be looking for is like love. That's the only thing that's really made me happy. Nothing behind the screen makes me happy. Nothing. The video games don't make me happy. Like walking around doesn't really make me happy. Playing basketball doesn't really make me happy. Even hanging out with my friends, I feel like it's just one giant competition most of the time. Sometimes it's okay hanging out with them, but for the most part, I just want someone who loves me and I love them. And that's it. It took me a really long time to learn this. I'm 22 now, but I wish I understood this earlier. Love is everything. So love your family, love your, people around you, because without them, I'm telling you, you'll lose everything and your health. It's your health and your family, man, and your girlfriend or whatever if you find a good girl. That's it.